Hi friends, welcome back. So today I thought we would work on some little mini paintings. I got a batch of these little 4x4 canvases, or canvas boards rather, and my idea is to paint a bunch of those and have those available as originals only on my website, which again will hopefully be launching this summer. And I thought it would be fun if we do a few of them on video, because they're just a fun little project. And right now I've been getting a little stressed out by my main painting that I'm working on, which is that big mountain crevasse one that we worked on like a month ago. I'm still working on that one, and it's being so daunting that I just kind of need to get a little bit of a win under my belt and do something that's not necessarily like easy, but just nice and simple and a good little, like, I can finish a painting in a day, because sometimes you just really want to finish a painting in a day. That's what we're going to do. I got 2 boards out. We probably have enough time to do both. And I have some ideas of what I'm going to do. So yeah, it should be fun. I'm going to change the camera angle and we'll get to painting. And I got to actually hook this onto me. Okay, I'm just trying to get the video to behave. Stop falling on the inside of my shirt though. Okay. Okay, so I've got 2 little mini canvases set up that I've just sketched some basic ideas on. I have 2 sets of paint out just in case. I don't know if we're gonna do both today. I would like to do both today, but I'm also not super picky on the subject. So this one is just gonna be some pretty rocks with some foliage. My instinct is so to just like not get anything on the fabric I have as a backdrop, even though I like picked this tablecloth because I don't really care if it gets paint on it. I'm still like, no, but don't get paint on it. I'm literally not using it for anything. Probably will not ever use it for anything, so it's really not a big deal. And yet feels like a big deal. So these are just some mini canvases that I bought online as a way to like play with different paint color schemes and kind of get some ideas for some bigger pieces, because a lot of the time if I have a paint color scheme idea, I don't want to just try it out on a giant canvas and then find out after I've already put the color down that I really don't like it. I'm going to try really hard to keep this in frame for you too, because with the smaller pieces it's super easy to just want to pull them closer toward me. So I'm going for something a little bit more abstract with this. Well, not abstract, but a little bit more loosey-goosey, I guess. A lot of my paintings anymore have gotten a little bit sharper and more defined. But I do find that there's something just really fun and whimsical about a very loosely painted piece. So that's kind of what we're going for today. But anyway, I got these little canvases so I can try out different color schemes, and also primarily to have kind of an affordable original for my website, which again I am planning on launching this year for reals this time. Last year, as some of y'all know, I just had some kind of crazy house expenses come up at the last second, and as I'm sure you all understand, I would much rather have a solid house than a new website. So I went with ensuring my house was solid. But I really want to make sure on the new website that I have some affordable pieces as well, because I know, like, for me, I would love to own some originals. It's so expensive that it's basically not feasible. So I want there to be a way that people on a budget, which is similar to my situation, can still afford some of my originals. So they're not going to be as snazzy of pieces, but a lot of them will be pieces that you'll see me paint on the channel, or kind of test pieces for some of my bigger works. And these two are just some simple ones that I've had just kind of an idea in my head for, or this one is one that I saw something similar online and I just really wanted to play with it and try it out. Oh, there we go. See, look, I got paint on the tablecloth. The seal is broken, y'all. I did it. Once I do it once, I'm much more content to do it again, because the damage, as they say, is done. So this is my loosey-goosey green background for right now. I do think I want to add a little bit more dark up here. I think down here is pretty good because I'm going to add in some more like brighter colored leafy greens to those areas, but let's go ahead and take some blue black and some viridian green and just kind of darken up this corner up here. And again, the nice thing with gouache is I can just add some water and it'll blend nicely. Doesn't need to be perfect, but I do want that to look like it's a little bit farther away than some of these bits. And I am working a lot on using kind of tonality to indicate depth. I am having a lot of fun playing with different colors lately, which is why I thought this might be a fun little experiment for today. Just play with some colors. Get some colors down on a little mini canvas. These are 4x4s, and I think I bought like 100 of them or something, and I've only painted like 2, and the ones that I did I don't love. I'm probably going to just give them away because they're okay, but they're not super my style, which is silly, I know, because I'm the one that painted them. So why did I do something that's not very my style? But that's what I did, so here we are. Okay, now this is not quite the color I was wanting. See if I can make it a little darker by adding this. Yeah, that'll do. So I had this idea to do rocks, but tone them in blue. I've got reference photos on my phone over there. Kind of do a blue tonality on some rocks. So I've seen this in a few other paintings that I've really liked. So I wanted to try it and see if it's a pain or if it works, because rocks can be kind of finicky in the first place. And then if you don't have the exact correct shade that you were going for, they can just kind of freak out. They just don't look right. Or like there, I didn't have my paint mixed well enough. So we'll just add some water. Smooth it out for right now. Alright, and we'll come back to that one after that's a little bit drier. Alright, then this one down here will be much darker. Stick with more of that dark blue. Add a little bit of the white up at the top. But not an excessive amount. Just enough to be like, hey look, there is light here. Yeah, like that. And again, we'll kind of let that sit and dry, and then we'll add more shading on it after. Should have dried that. Pulling more of the paint up than I wanted. Anyway. Gouache is interesting because you can very much pull colors up when you didn't mean to, like I just did there. But a lot of the time you can recover pretty easily, so there is that at least. Dry off my brush this time. Okay. So now these two rocks, kind of go with some medium blues. This is the stage where I feel like it just looks a little silly because there's not a whole lot on the canvas yet, so it just looks like color blocks. And I have to remind myself, like, this is part of the process. It's fine. It's gonna look fine. You just gotta get through the ugly stage and then it'll look pretty. And it's funny because like this doesn't necessarily look ugly either, it just looks unfinished. But in my head, unfinished equates to ugly. I'm sure if any of you are artists, you know that feeling too. It's just like, if it's not done, it's just ugly. And that doesn't happen with like every piece either. Some pieces are just pretty all the time, and other pieces are ugly until they're done. Yeah, that looks cool. Looks a little bit more like a rock then. You think? I tend to do a lot of washes when I'm doing rocks. I just think they come out better with more like almost a wet on wet technique. And then I tend to clean my brush up, do the thing I forgot to do last time, and dry my brush, and then come in and kind of buff all those colors together. And then just kind of comes out looking a little more refined and often like exactly like I wanted it to look, which is really interesting. I really enjoy gouache for that reason. Like, you can be messing with it and just do like the simplest little wash, and all of a sudden it looks so much more realistic. Or even just hitting it with a damp brush after you've added a bunch of color like this. Like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to add that white to both of these little rocks. Clean my brush. Dry it off. We'll go hit these guys with that super damp brush. Make them look like nicely shaded little rockies. Isn't that cute? I love it. Okay. So from there, I think what we will do is start adding some planties. So I'm going to take a smaller brush now and I will mix this emerald green over here with some of the white, just to make it a little bit brighter. And then add some water to that to thin it out. Another one of those techniques that I love for gouache. Not working quite right. Just thin it out a bit, it'll be fine. We'll just add some nice little grassies like that. And like that. Then let's see. Add some more little grassy bits over here. Do a little bit like that. Okay. That looks pretty cool. Then, I think actually I probably should have done some of these first, but I'm gonna take some of that dark blue that I used for the rocks. We'll use some of this to add some more planty bits over there as well. I might actually mix some Viridian green into that. Just to give some more depth there. Some Viridian like that as well. And then I could even add more of those grassy guys in front of this rock in the front here. Like that, because that's kind of fun. Then I think I will also kind of a little bit of the illusion that there's some plant life back there as well. Then I think I'll take this straight emerald. I like adding sections like this because it kind of denotes like a little grassy patch that's maybe being hit by the sun a little bit. I don't know, I think they look cute. Also not opposed to doing a mix of that emerald green and that Viridian. I think that could be kind of cute as a accent tone. And I'm kind of just wiggling my brush back and forth for these. But yeah, stuff like this, you just get this kind of cute little whimsical painting that again doesn't have like a massive amount of detail or anything, but at the same time it's really pretty, and it just adds this touch of whimsy to wherever it's sitting. And that is one of the things that I really love with my particular style of art. I love getting that little bit of whimsy. This is just me adding those little highlights to my rocks. Then, last but not least, I think I will add some straight lime green to accent everything. The lime green attacked me. Okay, so some lime green here. Just for a nice little finishing touch on some of these grasses. just like that. And voila, we have a cute little mini painting of some rocks. Nothing too fancy, nothing too schmancy, but really cute, and I really like that. I think that's fun. See if I have enough paint here that I can put my little signature on there for y'all. Ta-da! One mini painting. What do you think? Should we do one more? I think we probably have time to do one more. This one's cute though. I like that. Okay. Okay, so painting number 2 will be a little different. This is the color I want. Ooh. Almost forgot what I was doing there. I want to mix this. There you go. Okay, so this one I'm thinking mainly because I really need to practice this. This is going to be water. This that I'm doing right now. This is my little stream. I know it looks very much like water right now, doesn't it? Where I am actually super comfortable painting rocks anymore. I am not crazy comfortable painting water yet. I might actually just take this color all the way to the edge. That might be simpler. So this is a mix of phthalo green and night blue. Today most of my colors are from Turner Aqua Gouache. Aqua Gouache. The kind of fun thing with gouache is because it's watercolor, it does kind of lend itself toward looking a bit like water in the first place, which is nice. So that'll help. And I'm going to start by tucking this darker shade up there, bringing it down. Actually, I don't think that needs to go up that high, but we'll see. And I'll mix in a little bit of this shade just to give it a little more of that watery quality. Like that. That looks pretty good actually. When in doubt, angle brush. I think I learned that from Ruth Wilshaw. Wow, I don't know where the random G came from. Ruth Wilshaw, who is a gouache artist. and she does classes online, and she uses the angle brush for a ton. She uses it more than I do. I use it for some. I use it when I really don't know what brush I should use. Default to the angle brush. Especially with gouache, it works really well for the stuff like this where you're just kind of taking a dry brush and rocking it back and forth to kind of make that watery appearance. Like that. I think I actually like that. That looks pretty good for what I'm going for. Okay. So the next bit, I will also use my angle brush, but I'll flip this over. And we will take emerald green and we'll just fill in this whole top area. And this one is a slightly transparent color, so not ideal for covering a large section, but it's not going to be the only color I have up here, so I'm not really concerned about it. I kind of like filming these top-down videos of me painting. They're a little bit harder on me in terms of the actual painting because I'm not facing it the way I normally would be, but I really like how they look, and I feel like you guys get a much better view of what I'm doing. Please let me know if you agree or if you disagree, because if I don't hear anything, I'm gonna keep filming ones like this because I like it. Don't worry, I will still film some with a big canvas on my easel. I haven't been feeling the most amazing this weekend, so little paintings it is. Little paintings are just so much easier when you're not feeling 100%. It's not as daunting, it's just, oh, I could sit down and do a little painting, that's fine. That's not so stressful. Okay, so from here, this is totally not the brush I wanted. Oops. This one. So from here, we're gonna do more of those nice planty shapes like we did on the last piece. But am I dry enough to start this? Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna start a bunch of them. Down here. And we're kind of just going to fill in a fair bit of this bottom section. With these nice little organic shapes. Just to make it seem a little bit more realistic. I don't know. Also maybe draw a little bit of attention away from my less than perfect water. So I'm starting with these long grasses. And when these are dry, I will add more in front of them. But these are a good way to start filling the section because they're relatively simple and they don't have a lot of visual weight, honestly. So you can kind of cover them with other plant life relatively easily. I'm going to stick with this kind of dark green shade, and up in here I'm going to start adding a few little planty shapes again. Nothing too fancy, nothing too not fancy. If you're not sure what to do when you're wanting to add in like rough plant shapes, I find that taking the pointed edge of a round brush and just kind of dabbing a little bit will kind of get your point across without you having to do a ton of detail there. So then I'm going to go in with emerald green. That's the same color we used on the last canvas. And I'm going to kind of refine some of those shapes. Not really refine. I'm going to kind of cover some of these shapes, honestly, is what I'm going to do. Just deciding how I want to do it. So I'll add stuff like that. Some more water here. Add the same kind of planty blobbins. On top of everything like that. And then I will go in and do the same kind of tall grasses like I have on this side, but try to keep them a little bit thinner. Something like that, and then I'm going to mix the emerald green and this aqua blue that I've got here, and I am going to do something I don't do very often, which is just kind of do a little bit of a stipple along this edge. out like so. And then I will go in with a darker green. Right along the edge of that. To kind of try to denote the edge of the grasses fading into the edge of the water, or at least approaching the edge of the water. And again, I'll do a kind of similar technique to the last painting, where I kind of just have those like rough brushed areas just to make it seem a little bit fuller. Without having to add a mass more detail. Okay. Let's just dry my brush off really quick. And we will use this dry brush along these edges. Get those to look more how I want them. Yeah. Sorry about that. Absolute mass of water just poured out of my brush. There. Okay. So then, last but not least, clean off the tip of my brush there. Okay. Last but not least, I want to go in with these same brighter colors and finish off this front edge with a few more like big plates. Let's see here. Something like that. And then I like these. These are one of my favorite leaf shapes to paint. If you look close enough, you will find them in the majority of my paintings, because I think they're real cute and they come out super easily. And I am a simple Rani. It does not take much to please me. So then I'll just add a few more of these longer little grass is. Again, similar to how we did on the last one. But then, the last thing that I want to do, just to kind of round this one out and give it a little bit more character, I don't think I can actually get any paint out of this one. I'm going to have to go this way. I'm going to take a little bit of lavender. And I'm going to give these two some cute little flowers. And add some cute little purple spots in there as well. And I think that's really cute. What do you guys think? How did I do? How are my two mini paintings? All right. Where do I even sign this thing? Get my paint nice and watery. And then ta-da! And there you have it. Two cute little mini paintings that will more than likely be up on the website whenever that launches. Let me know if you guys love this idea as much as I do, and if you want to see me do more of these little mini guys, because this was really fun for me. It's a fun way to kind of practice some of these details without involving a giant canvas. You know how it is. But yeah, this was fun. I really enjoyed doing this. This was a nice little quick painting exercise for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this cute little painting tutorial, and I will see you again in a couple weeks. Bye!